Be me. 22, college senior, sociology major. Heavily involved in feminist activism on campus. Host workshops on toxic masculinity and gender privilege. Write articles for the university magazine. Most of my pieces are about how men benefit from every system. How they dominate spaces, talk over women, get promoted faster. Fully believe I'm helping people see the truth. Fully convinced men have it easy. Get accepted into a graduate program that includes fieldwork. Internship placement is at a nonprofit focused on underprivileged youth. Expect to be mentoring teen girls. Get assigned to work with the male cohort instead. Young men ages 16 to 25. Most are former foster kids, ex-juvenile offenders, or just homeless. Ask my supervisor why. She says, because no one wants to work with them. They're the ones who fall through the cracks. Kinda offended. But stay quiet. First week. Expect attitude, aggression, maybe even sexism. Instead, get silence. Blank stares, shrugs, side eyes. They treat me like I'm a substitute teacher. Learn quickly most of them don't trust women. Not because they hate us, but because they were raised without moms. Or had moms who left. Or moms who chose drugs or abusive partners over them. One kid literally says, "Women leave." It's what they do. Don't know how to respond. Some of them are bright. One of them draws insanely well. Another one writes music. Another wants to be an electrician. But they're all behind. Academically, socially, emotionally. They've been in survival mode since childhood. Nobody's ever expected them to do well. Nobody's ever told them they could. One kid shows up in the same hoodie every day. Finally asks if he's washing it. Says, "Nah, I sleep in a friend's garage. It's all I have." Another one brings granola bars and saves half for later. Says, "You never know." Realize none of them know where they're going next week. Let alone next year. They don't talk about the future because no one ever asked them to imagine one. Start leading group discussions on mental health. Ask how many have been to therapy. One hand goes up. Ask how many have been told to man up or stop crying. Every hand goes up. They laugh about it. Say stuff like, "Only girls go to therapy," or "You cry and you're a bitch." They're not mocking. They're repeating. No one taught them anything else. Ask if any of them have a relationship with their dads. One says, "He's dead." Another says, "He's in prison." Another says, "Which one?" They all laugh again. But there's this tightness under it. Realize the only men in their lives were violent, absent, or broke. And somehow they're expected to become better men without role models. How? Start noticing how the system treats them. If they slip up, they don't get second chances. Miss one appointment, and they lose housing. Fail one drug test, and they lose food stamps. Meanwhile, I have extensions on every paper. Professors who let me cry and resubmit. Parents who pay my rent. I'm empowered. They're problems. Talk to my supervisor about this. She says, "Yeah. Society assumes women need saving. Men are expected to cope. Ask why nobody talks about this." She says, "Because it doesn't trend." That line haunts me for weeks. One day one of the boys doesn't show up. Quiet one. Always kept his head down. Next week we find out he OD'd. Was living in a motel after his grandma kicked him out. No one visited. No funeral. Just a name on a clipboard we cross off. The room goes quiet. Then someone says, "Well, that's one less mouth to feed." But he looks like he's about to cry. Nobody says anything. They're all staring at the floor. Go home that night and sob. Feel this mix of guilt, shame, and helplessness. Can't stop thinking about how many times I said, "Men are privileged." Can't stop thinking about how many times I ignored guys who were hurting because they weren't women. Start questioning everything. Write a paper called The Invisible Boys. Prof doesn't like it. Says it centers male narratives in a gendered space that should prioritize female voices. Says your compassion is noble, but misdirected. Get a B. Don't care. Still consider myself a feminist. But the word feels hollow now. Because it didn't prepare me for this. It didn't teach me about these boys. It didn't teach me how to help. Only how to critique. Internship ends. Say goodbye to the ones who stuck around. Give them copies of their resumes, help them set up emails. Write one of them a letter of recommendation. He cries. First time I've seen him show any emotion. He hugs me. Says, I didn't think people like you saw people like me. Try to smile. But I'm shaking. That was a year ago. Still keep in touch with two of them. One's in trade school. The other got a job at an auto shop. Both are doing better than anyone expected. Not because someone saved them. But because someone finally gave a shit. See girls on Twitter talking about how men have it so easy. Want to scream. Not because I'm anti-feminist. But because it's not that simple. They're not the enemy. They're not all oppressors. Some of them are just boys. Abandoned, ignored, and aching. Waiting for someone to ask how they're doing. And actually listen.